join today, but hopefully people will join as we continue the session, Prabhuji. So I will share the... Prabhu, would you like to share the screen or should I share the Bhagavad Gita verses?
You can share.
Yeah. And also forgot to mention one very, very important thing. Prabhu has been developing a wonderful congregation and community in Aurangabad. So they recently built a temple in ISKCON, Aurangabad, Maharashtra, India. So very big temple. He's spearheading that entire community. So a lot of experience in all respects. So hoping you will all take advantage of this association. At the end, we will have some time for question and answers, Prabhu. So he is scheduled until 12:30, but maybe if you can stop around 12:25 or 12:20, so we will have time for some question Q&A, if that's okay. So I will share my screen and record. Record to cloud.
Recording in progress.
Please go ahead. Take it over from here.
Hare Krishna. All right. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pacharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyati Deshtarini Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. So, as far as I understand, what we are going to do is ask somebody to volunteer to chant the verse, and then we are going to take up the discussion. Is that right?
Prabhuji. So one of the participants, they will volunteer to recite the verse and translation, and then we will discuss. Yeah. Munishwar, please go ahead. Verse 13, actually. We are going to discuss from verse 13, yeah.
चतुर्वर्ण्यं मया श्रुतं गुणकर्म विभागशः तस्य कर्तारमपि मां विद्यकर्तारमव्ययम्. Translation: according to the three modes of material nature and the work associated with them, the four divisions of society are created by me. And although I am the creator of this system, you should know that I am yet the being unchangeable.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much. That was wonderful. Hare Krishna. So, Krishna is explaining to Arjuna about work. And he says that in this world that we live in, the material world, people work according to their propensities. So, where do these propensities come from? It comes from the modes of material nature. Where do the modes come from? The modes are the divisions, or we can say they are the various permutations of how material nature presents itself. Like, let's say you go to a Walmart shop, or the Walmart mall. So from the parking lot, it appears to be one building. And when you enter the building, then there are various permutations and combinations. the various options. And these options are based on the understanding of what would be the needs of those who come to that mall, the customers. So each customer that enters that shop, according to their needs, they may approach particular aisles, particular zones, and they may take what they want. They may purchase it. So those who are aware of what they need, they go exactly to that particular aisle, that particular zone, and they look for that product. There may be others who may want to explore. And when they explore the various options that are available, then they are able to formulate their desires. So the desire is to purchase. However, they have as yet not completely understood what they would like to purchase. So when they move around the various zones around the whole store, slowly their desires takes a form. So then they decide to pick up a can of milk, or pick up some ice cream, or etc. Maybe some toiletries, utilities, etc., etc., etc. So this is what Krishna is trying to describe here. And the reason Krishna is doing that is because he is explaining to Arjuna that simply giving up work will not be helpful. Sorry. The reason is that everyone desires to have an outcome, have some desired result in life. So sometimes they do it by performing work, and sometimes they do that by refraining from work, from activity. So when the activity or the field of activity becomes too intense, then they decide to refrain from it. They're like, okay, I don't want to do anything, I just want to take rest. So they may refrain themselves from that activity and become a little inert. However, they are looking forward to a certain outcome of that desire that they expressed. And the outcome is to be a little more relaxed, to be peaceful. Similarly, if they express themselves in terms of activity, they do a lot of work, they perform a lot of tasks, then the tasks are performed with the desire for certain outcome. So in this material world, whichever way you try to approach a situation, it is always with the intent of how the outcome would be beneficial, how I can have some benefits from the outcome, from the result. Therefore, in the previous verses, if you would remember, Krishna explains how any perspective in life is with respect to what is in it for me, what will I get. So one is looking at the outcomes. Those who are aware of their limited capacities, they know that there are certain resources that they have, like you have 2 hands, 2 legs, 2 eyes, and they need more. Like this store owner needs more eyes. If you heard the phrase, I need more eyes on the ground, which means I need more people to give me data. So those who are aware of the limitations they have as an individual, they try to network. They try to increase their connectivity with other objects, who could be people, it could be, in the example of the store owner, it could be cameras, etc. So they try to access more resources. Now, Krishna is trying to explain the extent to which the human mind can think of where to get resources from. So, the highest extent to which one can figure out a place from where one can get sufficient resources is called as the heavenly planets. It's like the super go down of resources. And these warehouses, these heavenly planets, they have the devatas in charge. So they start worshipping the devatas, they start glorifying the devatas, they start writing, letters of glorification of how they are inspired by the devas, the celestial beings. That is called as Deva worship, Deva Puja, the worship of the Devatas. Now, since the Devatas have lot of resources, so it seems that one's desires get immediately fulfilled because they have a lot of resources. For example, if I have 5 cars and if you ask me for 1 car and I'm happy with you, I can easily give you a car. However, if you go to what is it called here? A place where you buy cars from. What is it called? I hope everyone gets the idea. If you go there, then
Car dealership.
A car dealership. Thank you so very much. If you go a dealership store, it could take you a little more effort because you would have to go there, look at your budget, also understand what features you. So it takes a little more time. So hence, from the Vedic perspective, the idea of Deva Puja is, or worshipping the celestial beings, is that they immediately give you because they have sufficient resources in their garage. So you take on loan from them. Whereas at the dealership, you have to shell out money. So with this idea of worship and with this idea of how human beings are motivated by outcomes in life, they're motivated to achieve certain situations of well-being in life, they do activities, they perform actions. And here Krishna is saying that these actions, since they are influenced by the modes, therefore there are going to be divisions in society. And he gives 4 broad divisions in society. So these divisions in society are because of how people's, how the members of society look at the perspectives or options available to them. So Chaturvarnyam, there are 4 colored glasses or 4 broad categories of glasses through which people can look at outcomes of any option that is available. Therefore, it is called as Chaturvarnyam. Maya Srishtam, since these options are available by the existence of material nature, Prakriti, and Prakriti is the source of Prakriti or material nature is the Supreme Lord Krishna. Therefore, Krishna here says, Maya Srishtam, by my agency. It is, I am ultimately the sanctioner. I sanction this project. And since Krishna is a sanctioner, there is his involvement in the project as a sanctioner. He kind of gives the approval to this project. So, Maya Srishtam, he approves of it. he explains to Arjuna that these four shades of perspectives that people would have is based according to the guna and karma, according to their previous experiences, which is called as karma, and according to the guna, according to the way they look at themselves. They consider what they think of who they are. So according to their conception of their reality, their existence, that is called as guna, and karma is previous experiences, what they have experienced in the past. Based on that, they have a certain idea of how the outcome would unfold, how it would come about. So that is the understanding of guna and karma. Basically, it means what are your qualities and how would you perform in a certain situation. How would you look at a certain situation? For example, let's say a room, and let us take the example of three ladies that enter that room. The room is full of people. Let's say it's a family home and there are family members in that house, and we'll just take the example of three ladies. So one lady, when she enters the room, then that lady may feel as if she is a daughter. The other lady may feel that she is a mother. The third lady may feel that she is the grandmother or she is a teacher. It all depends on how they consider themselves to be existing in that situation. So the lady that feels she is a mother, she will look out for a child in the crowd. The lady who feels that she is a daughter would look out for her parents in the crowd. The lady who feels that she is a grandmother would look out for her grandchildren and her children in the crowd, so on and so forth. So this is the idea, guna karma vibhagasha. So taking this context and based on how society was arranged 5,000 years ago till today, till let's say the 20th century, the commentators have given their perspective. They have tried to bring this in context to their society, what Krishna is saying here, the Chatur Varanyam. So Varna means, the literal translation of Varna would be color. For example, if someone is dark skinned or the skin is of a dark color, then the Sanskrit word for it is Sham Varna. The skin color is dark. If someone is light skinned, the skin color is light, then that is described in Sanskrit as Gaura Varna. Gaura means light skinned, golden, light, pale, yellow, etc. And Shar means dark, black, deep, etc. So Varna has been used here as Varnyam. So this is a grammatical form of the word Varna. By Varnyam, Krishna is indicating that it is by their own specific outlook, every individual's specific outlook, that they find themselves to be one of the four divisions. So Krishna is specifically trying to clarify here that he has not forced someone to become one of the four categories. No. If that would be there, then it would be Chatur Varna Maya Shrishta. I pick an individual and put them into one of the four varnas. Chatur means four. Chatuha is four. Chatur means, now when there's the application, then it is four. So Chatur Varnyam. So every individual chooses to be of a particular varna. Krishna simply facilitates that desire of theirs. So when people sometimes say that Krishna established the four orders of society Actually, what they're trying to say is that Krishna is facilitating people's desires to be in the four orders of society. Why does Krishna facilitate it? Because no one else has the capacity to build that. The entire human society, or all the living entities coming together with all of their life energies, do not have the capacity to establish the system. Hence, they need a superior agency to help them do that. So the superior energy facilitates their desire. So that is why here Krishna is saying Chatur Varnyam. Because you are desiring that, I am trying to facilitate it. The significance of this is that we have to accept responsibility of how we express ourselves in whichever varna we are. And because Krishna is a facilitator, so that is his involvement too. Hence Maya Srishtam. So Guna Karma Vibhagasha. Guna here also is indicating the three modes. Because Guna also means modes, ways. Like we have three guna. Three guna means three ways, which has three qualities. So guna also means qualities, guna also means ways. So material nature expresses itself in three ways. Because anything that has a beginning and an end expresses itself in three ways. Everything that has a beginning and an end will express itself in three primary ways. First is the beginning, second is the middle, and the third is the end. So from the beginning, in the beginning, there would be just a spark. Then from the beginning to the middle, the spark will grow. Then from the middle, in the middle, the spark will be at its zenith. Then from the middle to the end, it will decline. And at the end, it will again be a spark. So that is the picture. That is the understanding of why there are three gunas, why there are three modes of material nature. One is that which facilitates progress towards creation. And the other is that which facilitates the progress towards destruction. And creation and destruction are the two ends. So therefore, there have to be three modes. Three modes of material nature. Now, these three modes have various permutations and combinations. And Krishna here says that the basic initial broad classification of the permutation of combination of the three modes will be in four types. And this is also very plain math. It is very plain logic. And we'll see how. So now what are the three modes? The three modes are the mode of goodness, which is called as sattva. And since it is a quality, it is called as sattva guna. The mode of goodness, since it is a mode, therefore we call it as sattva guna. Then the second is rajas, therefore rajoguna or rajoguna. And third is tamoguna or tamoguna. So these are the three modes. Now, how can there be four types of outcomes out of these three modes broadly? So one would be where, so what is sattva, what is rajas, what is tamas? Sattva is the beginning, tamas is the end, and rajas is in middle. So that is why there are three modes. Now, what can be the various combinations of the three modes? One is where sattva is existing. The other is where tamas is existing. The third is where sattva has rajas element in it. The fourth is where tamas has rajas element in it. So therefore there are four divisions. So the first division, the Chatur Varna, the first perspective that an individual would have, let us say that society is made up of individuals, so each individual can be affected by the four modes, by the three modes, and therefore has four options. So the first way, the first perspective expression is where the mode of goodness is predominant and Rajogun is practically not there because it is a beginning. So Sattva is the beginning, Tamo is the end. So at the beginning, the mode of goodness would be very, very predominant. So that is called as the perspective of clarity. So the word Brahmana implies clarity. So it is not birth. Hence Krishna is using the term guna and karma here. He does not say birth. So word Brahmana does not mean that being born as a Brahman. The word Brahmana means having clarity. So if you are born with utmost clarity, which is possible, that is, you are born and there's your personality is full of sattva, then you're a prodigy. So you're prodigy in the mode of goodness. So that is called as sattva. A Brahman has clarity. Now where there is the effect of the mode of passion, Rajogun, combining with sattva. So as long as the mode of goodness is there and Rajogun or the mode of passion is there, however the mode of passion is more predominant than the mode of goodness, then that is where one wants to be very active, because Rajogun means action. Rajogun means productivity. Creativity is Sattvagun. Rajogun is productivity. Tamagun is destruction or conclusion. So creativity, productivity and conclusion. So when the productivity aspect is higher than, it is more than 50%, 60% of one's perspective in life, so Sattvagun is secondary now. So because there is Sattva, there is the idea of being creative or protective. Creativity is, a person is creative because there's a sense of wanting to protect. Therefore, there are creative ideas that how do I protect a certain situation. Let's say there is a scene in front of me and I'm a painter, I'm an artist, I paint. So I want to protect that, I want to preserve it on canvas. So therefore I become creative. How to preserve it on canvas. So in Rajogun there is productivity. You are concerned about the outcome a lot because the outcome gives you benefits. And Sattvagun is there and therefore you have some preservative aspect to it also. You are protectionist too. So that is a Kshatriya. A Kshatriya is productive, is very productive. Therefore Kshatriya wants to implement systems, have procedures, and at the same time be a leader. So that is Kshatriya quality. A Kshatriya is one who establishes that which is helpful and tries to take away that which is unhelpful. Kshat also means to cut. So that is a Kshatriya. So a Kshatriya is very, very active, is not as creative as somebody who is in Sattvagun. Therefore borrows ideas from somebody in Sattvagun, borrows ideas from a Brahman, is very much into preservation. So would establish systems to protect, to preserve. So that is a Kshatriya. So that is the second word. That is how people look at outcomes in life, look at opportunities in life. So if there's a group of people that looks at life at this perspective, with this perspective, then that becomes the Kshatriya clan, the group of Kshatriyas. So that is the second outcome of the combination of these three gunas. What is the third outcome? The third outcome is where Rajogun is predominant, Sattvagun is practically absent because now it is going towards decline. However, Tamagun is secondary. So what is Tamagun about? Since it's about conclusion, Tamagun is more about being relaxed, more about being lazy. So where one is looking into productivity, but one is lazy. One wants to get it done with minimum effort, maximum outcome. More profit, less amount of endeavor. Or let us say optimal endeavor, not less amount of endeavor, but optimal endeavor. So when one is simply concerned about productivity, one may not look at optimum endeavor. One is just concerned about, let us make massive products. Therefore, Kshatriya always expands like that and wants to protect it too. And what does a Vaishya do? How does a Vaishya's expansion work? It works in terms of profit. Why? Because a Vaishya is influenced by, that is the third outcome, the Vaishya outlook. A Vaishya is influenced by Tamagun. And Tamagun wants the Vaishya to get benefit not just by one's efforts but by others' efforts too. So Kshatriya would be the first one to face danger. A Vaishya would have Kshatriyas face the danger. Because a Vaishya is someone who's influenced by Tamagun. However, the Vaishya is very productive too. So both Kshatriyas and Vaishyas have the productivity attribute to it. Kshatriyas can establish systems, they can inspire people. A Vaishya is someone who can see the potential in people and get profit out of it. So Vaishyas are very good as mercantile men. They're very good as multiplying things so that there's a lot of profit generated. So even if there's going to be some loss, there's going to be some destruction because Tamagun is there, a Vaishya will see profit in it and allow that destruction to happen. A Kshatriya would try to preserve and protect. So that is the difference between the second outcome and the third outcome in life. Because there is an element of Tamagun. Tamagun is secondary. Now what is the fourth outcome? The fourth outcome is that now both Rajagun, Sattvagun, creativity has to go towards conclusion. So Sattvagun is minimal, very, very little, practically absent. Rajagun also has to decline now. So when Rajagun becomes secondary and Tamagun becomes not just secondary, but Rajagun is at its utmost end and Tamagun is completely predominating. So that is a Shudra. A Shudra does not have clarity, no productivity, but what a Shudra has is potential. And therefore, a creative person can see that potential and engage them. Like a painter can have a Shudra bring canvas and or ask them to pose as a model. They see that potential. Everyone has to work. Work has to be there. Some activity has to be there. So Shudra does not have, there's no Sattva gun there, barely minimal. So needs somebody that can have clarity. Protectionist impulse is not as much there because there's no Rajagun and productivity. So needs Kshatriyas, needs Vaishyas for those aspects in life. However, a Vaishya is very good at seeing potential in other people. So a Vaishya can identify those who have potential. A Kshatriya needs somebody to work within the system, to take on more ownership. So a Kshatriya would have a Vaishya give resources to implement the system and also human resources for that. So that is how the fourth outcome would be Shudra. Shudra is someone who has a lot of potential, just as all the other three outcomes have or Varanas have. However, because the Tamagun is predominant, therefore would want to always waste one's energies, waste one's time. So needs to be motivated. So the motivation comes through Rajagun and Sattvagun. Hence, since the perspective of an individual is predominantly influenced by Tamagun, that person would need motivation always. Has a lot of potential as every individual has. So that is how, because of how we approach a situation with our perspectives in life, there are going to be 4 basic ways that we do it. And therefore society can be divided into 4 basic categories, which are called as a category of people that has clarity, a category of people that is productive, a category that is protectionist, a category of people that understands profit, and a category of people that can be motivated to bring about these outcomes. And who can, or who has the potential to have each of these perspectives? Every individual, depending upon their previous experiences of how previously they have worked. Whenever they have done opportunity, they feel inclined to take up similar work now, and what reforms they have brought about in themselves in terms of their personality, that is called as guna, the qualities that they have cultivated. So if they have cultivated the qualities that helps them move incrementally in their experiences previously, then that is how they'll look at it. Or if their transformation is exponentially, then that is how they will perform in the present time. That is how they will do work in the present time. So it can be incremental progression or exponential progression. And everything depends upon how one uses an opportunity. Hence, Krishna always encourages everyone, through every single instruction that he has, he encourages everyone to be very, very aware of the potential that is there in every opportunity. That will be affected by our outlooks in life, what kind of outlook we have developed in life up till now, and how do we want to progress further. Do we want to have incremental progression or exponential progression? So guna karma vibhagasha, that is the division that is being spoken of here. Tasya kartaram apimam. Apima. By using the word api, Krishna says that you cannot remove me out of the picture. I am in the picture. So sometimes if you think that, hey, I am doing all the work, the resources also is being accumulated by me, it is me who's identifying the resources, otherwise resources are inert. So some of the resources are inert except human resources or living resources, living entity as resources. They have life. Matter is inert. So one may feel that one is the doer, one may feel that one is the accumulator, one may feel that it is I who has identified that. So Krishna says, no, apima. I am tasya kartaram. So I am that person who facilitates. And when he says facilitates, he says, I am the person who has created this field for you, the field of activity. I created material nature. Material nature expresses herself as the field of activity. So in one sense, material nature as a field of activity is directly responsible for us getting the outcomes of our life. So if we interact with material nature, then material nature will give us the outcomes. So then she becomes the direct cause. But Krishna says, you cannot remove me from the picture. Just as a baby, the direct cause of the baby's birth is the mother, because the baby is born from the mother's womb. The remote cause is the father, because conception is possible by the contribution of the father too. So the remote cause would be the father. So here when Krishna says tasya kartaram, he says I am the remote cause. And hence in the translation, if you say, Prabhupada is translating it as I am the creator of the system. I am the father of the system. I am the remote cause of the system. However, apima, he says, I am involved, but what you have to know, vidhi, no, O kartaram, you cannot hold me responsible for the outcomes. Oh, because you are the creator, therefore you should be responsible for the outcomes. He says, no, O kartaram, I'm not involved in the action. You are involved in the action. So the direct cause of the outcome is material nature, but the responsibility of performing that outcome, the cause of the performance of that action is that individual. The individual is the cause of the action. Material nature is responsible, or material nature is involved with the outcome. Material nature gives the outcome. The individual is the cause of the action. So when I decide to work in Sattva Gun, then I become the cause of the result of the action in Sattva Gun. The result of the action of Sattva Gun is given by material nature. Material nature has its source in Krishna. Therefore, Krishna becomes Kartaram. He becomes the Karta in that sense. He is the creator in that sense. He is the remote cause in that sense. The immediate cause of action is me. The giver of the result is material nature. The remote cause, or the immediate source of that result is material nature. The remote source of that outcome or result is Krishna. So the remote cause of the action is Krishna. However, the immediate cause of action is the individual soul. The remote cause of the outcome, the immediate cause of the outcome, that which gives the outcome is material nature. Material nature gives us the result. So I plant a seed, material nature gives the fruit in the form of the tree. Material nature gives the fruit. So I planting the tree, the facilitation for me to plant the tree, to plant the seed, is given by Krishna. Therefore, he becomes the remote cause. And for material nature to give the fruit, the facilitation is by Krishna. Krishna has given material nature that potential. Therefore, Krishna again becomes the remote cause of the fruit of action. Hence, Krishna is the Kartaram. Krishna is involved. However, he is remotely involved, and therefore he is also the Akartaram. Akartaram means it is not that he is desiring for that fruit. It is not that he is desiring for the outcome. Krishna is beyond such desire. He facilitates our desire. Therefore, Krishna is the non-doer or Akartaram. And Avyayam explains that Krishna is beyond desire or being free from desire. He neither says, I desire or do not desire. He says, I'm Avyay. I'm beyond desire. So sometimes we express that Krishna is beyond, Krishna does not have any desire. Sometimes we say that, or God does not have any desire, because that is how we understand being free from desire. But somebody who's already free from desires, like somebody who's already is a free citizen of another country, that person never desires the nationality. Let somebody is a free citizen of country A and there is a country B. That person is being the national of or a citizen of country A does not say that cannot say that I do not have a desire to be a citizen of country B, or cannot say that I desire to be a citizen of country A. Well, one can express it later on, but right now, since they are a citizen of country A, whether they desire to be a citizen of country B or they do not desire to be a citizen of country B is inconsequential. It may not be a part of their existence at all. They may not even know that country B exists. And because they do not know that country B exists, therefore there is no question of them thinking that, oh, I don't think so I have a desire to be a citizen of country B. Oh, I think I have a desire to be a citizen of country B. Either of the options does not exist for them. Why? Because for them there is no existence of country B. They are citizens of country A. So Krishna is always in his status of being eternal. So for Krishna, the idea of temporary is not there. The idea of temporary is there. Krishna has the idea of temporary with relationship to the living entities in this material world. However, for him, even this is actually an eternal activity going on. It simply appears and disappears. The living entity take up a body and then give up a body. So from his perspective, it is still an eternal activity. It is like waves in the ocean. They come and they go. So that is how for Krishna is. However, for each wave, it is being formed, it rises and then it dies down. It rises and it dies down. So for each wave, there is a temporary up and a temporary down. For Krishna, the waves simply come and go. Is unaffected by that. So that is the idea of Avyayam. Avyayam is unchangeable. Because Krishna is unchangeable, he is Avyay. Therefore, he is not affected by the modes, their perspectives, even though he facilitates that for other living entities. It is like a charitable person who offers a gift in charity and then is completely free from it. He is not like, oh, you should be using charity in this way, or he is not like, you should not be using charity in that way. Once offers, let's say, somebody offers food to another person. They offer food because they feel that the other person needs food. Now, if the other person throws away the food, they should not feel that, hey, why is the person throwing away the food? Or if the person eats food, they should not feel that, oh, I really helped that person. No, that is not charity. Charity is that you see that if you feel that somebody needs food, you just give it. And then you're not expecting certain results from that. That is good charity. So Krishna is the supreme charitable person. He does not need to be educated in that. Why? Because he's Avyay. That is how he is. That is how he is always existing. So this is what Krishna is stating here. He is stating that since you need to have outcomes in life as a living entity in this material world, that is your attraction. Therefore, material nature will have three phases: beginning, middle and end, which is sattva, rajas and tama, three gunas. These three gunas are going to give you four basic outcomes in life, and there can be more permutations and combinations, and there can be these outcomes in different ways in various phases of your life too. Like today morning there can be one outcome, and by today afternoon there can be a second outcome. That always happens. So there will be these four basic outcomes. Since people broadly would want to group together according to how they look at outcomes in life, how they look, what kind of perspectives they have in life. So those who group together in Sattvagun, they are of one varna. Those who group together where Rajagun is more predominant than Sattvagun, they group together. Those who have Tamagun more predominant than Rajagun, they group together. And those who have Tamagun as very dominant, then those people group together, and therefore there are four varnas. These varnas have been facilitated by Krishna because he is the creator. At the same time, it is not that Krishna desires that the individuals bind themselves in each varna. No, the individuals desire to be bound in each varna, and therefore individuals are responsible for desiring to be in a particular varna, for being in that varna, and for the outcome of the actions that they perform in that varna. Krishna is completely transcendental to all of this. So we'll stop here. It's exactly 12:29. I was supposed to stop 10 minutes earlier. I'm so sorry. If there are
That's okay.
any questions or any clarifications, I'm open to that right now.
No one has any question. I would like to ask a question, Prabhu. First of all, very, very beautiful, excellent analysis of the verse. Each line, each word, very, very beautifully explained. One question I was thinking in this Varna system, didn't this exist during Dwapar Yuga? Because Karna, by nature, he was a Kshatriya, but Dronacharya, Bhishma, other people, they treated him like a Shudra. They said, you are a Shudra, you are not qualified to fight or to be given this kingdom. So how do we understand that? Why did they discriminate based on the birth, external birth, not based on the quality?
Varnas, as the way we understand it, most probably the way we understand it, it has been penned down in that way by Vyasadeva. Before Vyasadeva, maybe it was in vocal form. It wasn't in written form. Is that clear? So hence we may not really know whether in written form they had tabulated it somewhere, maybe have a constitution like that. So that I am not aware of it, because scriptures were penned down for the first time by, according to our understanding, by Lord Ganesh on the instructions of Vyasadeva. He brought it out in the written form. So when we say, did Varna exist, then we have to understand that the way things worked in Dwapar Yuga and previous yugas are a little different now. Today we give a lot of emphasis on the written word. Where is it written down? Where is the law written down? So if we understand the difference in the two approaches, then we realize that maybe the way society functioned then could be by a different format, and we are not really sure what is that format. However, the three modes would always exist, and the outcome of the three modes in these four formats would always exist. So it could be just as we have in the written form right now, or it could be in a different way. Now coming to the point about Karna, we consider Kshatriyas only to be somebody who have a lot of valor, a lot of fighting abilities. See, Rajagun, when it has Sattvagun with it, Sattvagun is about creativity, it is about protecting, preserving things. Then that is what is called as the Kshatriya. When people are not sure of what, they do not have clarity and they need motivation, that is, or they need support, that is Shudra. Please understand the difference.
Got it.
All right?
Yeah.
So people there were very clear about what is when Tamogun is very predominant, what is when Sattvagun is also there with Rajagun. They were very clear about it. So they could make that distinction.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Devotees, if you have any questions, not only pertaining to today's verse, but in general, any questions till whatever we have covered till now, or any other topics, please feel free to ask. Don't be shy. Someone raised hand. Nikita Mataji. Yes, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you for wonderful class. Prabhuji, I have a question about this verse on how we can implement it in our life. You explained that every individual or the varnas, like the mode of goodness, is predominant in Brahmanas. Kshatriyas have a merger of goodness and a bit of tamo. Rajas.
Sorry. No, they have more of Rajas and a bit of goodness. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yes, Prabhu. Sorry. So Kshatriya has more of rajas and a bit of sattva, and then so on so forth for Vaishya and Shudra. So are we, if we are in one, uh, so every individual would have a predominant of one gun. Is it like that? And are we supposed to progress, like how we should behave and how we should progress so that it helps in progressing in bhakti? Like, does my question make sense, Prabhu? I'm not sure if I'm very clear or not.
Let me try and paraphrase it, and please let me know if I've understood your question. All right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
The first thing is that how do we apply this in our
Mhm.
present lives, and the second is that is there a predominance of a particular guna in our personality, and
Right.
therefore how do we approach that in terms of making our choices in life? Did I paraphrase it properly?
Yes, Prabhu, perfectly. Thank you.
You're welcome. So two questions. The first is how do we what is the application of this verse? Uh, in my understanding, this is my understanding, and the others can give their opinion. My understanding, the application is that since we desire the outcome, certain outcomes in life, we'll have to work. So if we are very sincere at work, if we work sincerely, we put in really a lot of effort in our work, then most probably we'll be very close to the outcomes that we desire. That is one of the lessons that we can do. That once you have a goal in life, then sincerely work for it. And since we are trying to be devotees, then our goal is to be free from any distraction and to be focused on that which is favorable for devotion. So now we have to sincerely work for it. That could be the application of this verse as I see it. Is that helpful? The first part?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. The second part, is it that one of the gunas or modes is predominant in our personality, and therefore is that how we should be aware of it and look at our choices? Actually, we have a lot of desires trying to, or let us say we always have a conflict of desires. There are so many desires that we have, and each one is trying to superimpose itself on the others within us. A simple idea of a simple example could be that we want to cook rice, or let us say we want to go and purchase a phone. The moment we land up at the store, we become a little bit, let us say, not bewildered, but aware that actually I will need some time to decide what I need to purchase. Or when we go on the internet, then we start scrolling through so many options that are available. So we went in with a desire to purchase a phone, and then we land up with, it is like that desire had not just one head. We thought it had just one head. Suddenly it has more than 50 heads, and we have to explore each one of them. Rice, we want to cook rice. So when we cook rice, we start off by, okay, we just want to cook rice, and suddenly 10 more heads come up that should we cook rice with less water so that it is the each of the grains are a little more separate? Should we cook it with more rice so that it's a little fluffy? Should we cook it with more water? Should I cook it on an open stove in an open vessel, or should I cook it in a different way because the outcome could be different? So in this way, we realize that actually what we consider to be just one desire has so many flavors to it, and therefore that one desire is not one desire, it is multi desires. It is like multi-grain atta. It looks like atta only, it looks like flour only, but actually it is multi-grain, not one grain. Hence, thinking that does one quality predominant is not correct. We are bombarded with various flavors of each of these three qualities because that is how we've lived life. However, at a given time, or let us say at a particular time where we have to choose a vocation at that particular time, certain flavors that predominantly are in Rajogun, or certain flavors that predominantly are in Sattvagun, or certain flavors that predominantly are in Tamagun. They have different flavors of Tamagun, but predominantly they are in Tamagun. They will come together and it will be their Varchasva. They will superimpose themselves on all the other flavors of that are existing. Knowledge helps you filter out all these desires so that you're not constantly being challenged or bewildered by so many different flavors of these modes. Is that okay?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I have one question, Prabhuji.
Yes.
My question would be, we know that we have certain tendencies, we fall into a certain category. We may or we may not know. But is there a way to change that, or should we even think in that direction, or just let things, follow the pattern that's already set?
When Krishna says guna karma vibhagasha, we think qualities and work. So typically, generally, we take the very simplistic approach of this understanding that one has to work in the mode of goodness. Because guna means 3 modes. So best mode is the mode of goodness, and karma means work. So you work in the mode of goodness. Today we were trying to understand certain other perspectives of this word combination guna karma. Karma is that state of, or let us say, a perspective that is influenced by our experiences of the past. So in the past, if I have gone down a particular road and we liked that path, that route. So even though we may have, the Google map may come up with better options, most probably we would want to take the route that we are aware of, unless until we feel there is some discomfort on that route. We are like, Google Maps is saying it is only 2 minutes faster by another route. Better go by the route that I know. So previous experiences influence our decisions at the present. That is the idea of karma there. How did we work previously? And guna is quality or personality. How did we transform ourselves? So transformation can be, I transform myself bit by bit, or I transform myself exponentially. So the graph could be just gradually rising or a steep rise. Like it could be, I am trying to slowly reduce my weight, or I take up a weight challenge program and do it in a month or so, something like that. So that is what quality means. Quality means, in terms of utility, in terms of application, guna means, in the present situation, how would I transform myself? So it is both dynamic, and it is always dynamic. It is not that we'll just be, we will not become inert. We'll either go up or we go down. We cannot stay in the same situation. That is not how it works. So the way we transform ourselves could either go up or go down. It could go up incrementally or exponentially, or it could go down incrementally or exponentially. Either we could become a little more lazy, or we could be more active incrementally or exponentially. Inertness is only possible when we are too confused, which is also possible in Tamagun. That is where we stay in the same place. So that is the idea of guna, qualitative. It is not just mode of ignorance, passion, and goodness. That is one perspective of how you can approach this understanding of guna and karma. Another perspective has been given in terms of transformation, and based on your previous experiences, how do you want to transform? How do you want to take up this new challenge, this new opportunity in life? The best option is that we transform towards elevating our consciousness. So our previous experiences may be XYZ. We may have had good experiences with elevating our consciousness or not so good experiences with elevating our consciousness. Yes, that is going to make us either excited or make us a little dejected with the present opportunity. However, the present opportunity is a standalone opportunity. The opportunity did not come to us being flavored by our previous experiences. So with knowledge, we try to be detached from what we were previously and use this opportunity for the best, or we use the best of our past experiences to do better this time. We learn from our past, let us say, mistakes, and we take encouragement from our past successes to do better with the present opportunity. So that is how we can apply it. And transformation, we have to seek out whether we want to do it slowly, or maybe if there is an opportunity to do it a little more with a more active participation than an active passive participation, then we should try to do it in a more active way, more active participation for transformation. Is that helpful?
Yes, so I understand that we can change our the Rajoguna or Tamoguna, whatever is dominant, can be with effort changed. That's what it is, right? I mean, the effort should be there towards Rajoguna or Sattva-guna from Tamoguna. Is that the sort of a desired thing, or should it be like that? I mean, I'm trying to understand what should be our approach, like, just express our existing gunas, or should we make effort to change our guna? Like if we are more, we understand ourselves to be having more tamoguna, then should I be making more efforts towards getting into the sattva side, right? That's just my question, basically.
So we are already considering ourselves to be in tamoguna then, because that is where we are trying to raise ourselves from. That is not always helpful. We should be grateful to God that we have the opportunity to understand the potential of making choices. So that itself is clarity. So we should always begin from sattva guna. We should have the confidence that as soon as I know that I can, as soon as I'm considering the fact that should I transform in ways to go above sattva guna and rajoguna, means that we have used the facility of sattva guna. So that is a very, very wonderful gift that we have, or a benediction that we have. Then things become easier from there on. As soon as one is grateful to have that blessing, that whenever one feels blessed, one gets more energy. Secondly, let me give the example of Kumbhakarna. Now, Kumbhakarna would also have to wake up once a year, isn't it? Which means that he comes into Sattva-guna from Tamoguna, which is sleep. However, Kumbhakarna can also be made to wake up in the middle, despite the fact that he was supposed to sleep. That needs a lot of effort. And Ravana made that effort, and Kumbhakarna had to wake up. And thirdly, after waking up, Kumbhakarna himself decided to fight the war. I'm not sure if he fought the war for a day, or I'm not really figuring how many days did he actually fight the war. After waking up, how many days did he stay awake? But if he stayed awake for more than one day, or even if he stayed awake for one day, he could have always said that, hey, my benediction is that I sleep for 364 days. You woke me up on the 300th or 269th day. I go back to sleep, and I will only wake up at the 364th day. So he took that opportunity to stay awake. And because he did it to understand his brother's desire and to facilitate his brother's desire, so that is Rajogun. If he had gone back to sleep, that would have been again Tamogun. Since he woke and stayed awake, and now he decided to fight, so there is some Sattvagun in it, but predominance of Rajogun. Is that example helpful?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, do we stop here?
Yeah, yes, Prabhuji. It's already 12:50. Thank you so much, Prabhu. We are very, very grateful to you for facilitating today's session. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you so very much. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.